12/8/88, I arrived, Mijina, my native town, and then I make a demonstration, and I lead the demonstration.
The camp even boasted its own Buddhist monastery. In Theravada Buddhism, people can gain merit by giving food to monks. Jojo's cropped hair isn't a gesture to military efficiency. Just before my arrival, he and several others in the camp had just completed a retreat as novice monks. Almost every male in Burma has done some time as a monk.
So that's why, many and, malaria, problem, health problem, First, before we attack the enemy, we attack the, malaria. Malaria is a biggest problem in ABSDF.
Malaria is epidemic on the border. These are all children of ABSDF members. Everyone gets it. It's just a fact of life. The General Secretary of ABSDF, or GS, briefs the troops on a new policy. This man was shot clean through the head with an AK-47, paralysing one side of his body completely. By chance, in the country in 1988 to care for her ailing mother was independence hero Aung San's daughter Aung San Suu Kyi. Appalled at the bloodshed, she was galvanised into action. Her simple language, courage and insistence that the Burmese people deserve democracy as much as any other soon thrust her into the leadership of the National League for Democracy, or NLD. Slork promised free and fair elections, but placed Aung San Suu Kyi under house arrest in 1989. Despite this, in 1990, the NLD won a landslide victory. Slork refused to accept the result. Instead, it insists that a new constitution must be drawn up by a national convention hand-picked by themselves in order to put a civilian face on military power. In 1989, Aung San Suu Kyi and the NLD had called for national reconciliation through all the ethnicities participating in a national convention. Eventually, all the planning, briefing and preparation was complete and we were off. It was hard to believe it was finally happening. After so many false starts, I was making it to the front line. I was a little nervous, but it was important for me to go. Our journey involved about a day and a half of heading down the Tenasserim River. White water provided some thrills and spills. Most of the time I was too worried about keeping the camera dry to film. Everyone bailing out to refloat the boat became a familiar drill. At the end of the day we reached Motar. It's from trading posts like these that the KNU has made its revenue over the years by taxing cross-border smugglers. At the time of filming, this was one of the few trading posts not yet captured by Slork. I was not allowed to film on shore. The next day we reached the landing point where we were met by the students our guys were relieving. ABSDF soldiers commonly do tours of duty of 2 or 3 years. Elephants are used for logging. Teak has been a steady money for the KNU over the years. Slork, though, desperate for hard currency, has deforested large swathes of Burma. Making our way upstream was punishingly hard and took 2 days. We stripped to our jocks as a field expedient.
Good.
When we reached the student forward base, I was surprised to find that it had a real family atmosphere. A few of the students, including the commander, had married local Karen women and started families. The students borrowed the camera to film the marriage of a student called Joe 2 to a local girl. For security reasons, I couldn't attend. This is Winte. He and Jojo had the job of briefing the troops on the new policy. They also had the results of the last ABSDF General Conference to explain. Aung San and 7 of his cabinet colleagues were gunned down by assassins before ever seeing the independence of their country they had fought so long and hard for. Since then, they have been revered in Burma as martyrs. Jojo Akashin uses Burmese to speak to these students, many of whom use Korean as their first language. The country's name was changed by Slork to its Burmese name, Myanmar. This is seen by the ethnic forces as high-handed arrogance, and so they continue to use the neutral English name, Burma. This man, now a platoon sergeant with ABSDF, deserted from Slork 3 years ago. This is a Singapore-made 60mm mortar, captured from the Slork by the KNU and lent to the ABSDF. The students wanted to test the ammo, which was mostly Chinese. A lot of Singapore-made weaponry is used in Burma. Much of it was sold directly to Slork, but a lot of it, especially M16 rifles, was given to the Khmer Rouge as aid by the West, and then sold on by Thai arms dealers. There seemed to be some debate about the correct drill. Suddenly everyone was an expert on mortar ammo. Chinese ammo is notoriously bad. A few days later, we were on the front line. Note the extreme lightness of kit. Mobility is everything. We infiltrated by night. The next morning found us entering a Korean village. The man in the blue t-shirt is a Korean villager. The other man in civvies is an ABSDF scout. He wears a revolver underneath his shirt, so he has a chance to shoot it out if he has to. The students send these scouts ahead into villages to check them out. Yet another Winte in the green t-shirt was acting as my minder. It was time for breakfast. The radio was tuned to either the BBC Burmese language service or the Voice of America. The column commander, Ko La U, in the